Have you ever had a horrible boss? Today's episode, it's about our experiences at work with those who we call our boss. Let's start it. You're gonna like it. Hello, this is Ella and this is Randomness, a little space in the podcasting world to talk about any random topic that you are into. Yes, that's me. I'm Ella, a random chick who loves to talk about anything, and then any subject that pops in my mind, I'll just throw it into any episode and hopefully make a connection with you, because that's what I love to do. This is Ella and this is Randomness. I'll see you around Nasek in the next episode. Hello guys, we're starting episode 14. How exciting! A couple of things going on with my life right now. I hurt my arm and I don't think it's a big deal, but it's hurting. I've been using my right arm a lot and I think I stretched one ligament or something that I'm no doctor, but I can tell you that I hurt it. So I've been using this strap that my mother gave me, and it's kind of like a strap that you tie it, and it has this thing, and it allows me to compress the muscles, and it doesn't allow me to move it crazy like I do. So I hurt my arm and I took like a week break. That way I can, rest my arm and not type too much on my laptop when I edit and when I use my arm a lot. I don't know if you heard of carpal tunnel, and it's a thing when that affects your wrist and the muscles in your wrist. And I don't want to say I have it, but I know that you could develop it if you type too much, if you use your computer too much, if you're holding your phone too much, or if you lift heavy shit, so watch out for that. When I record, I like to dance, and I'm a person who likes to move a lot, whether I'm talking to you or whether whatever it is that I'm doing, I move. When I cook, I'm dancing. That's like my little touch of love for anything that I do. So I like to move a lot. I'm very hyper. So if you hear noises, it's because I'm moving. I'm moving if I'm still, I'm still moving my feet, and my boyfriend complains a lot about that. But anyway, I'm just trying to let you know, watch out, because if you use your hands a lot, make sure that whatever that you do with it, make sure that you're doing it right, because you can hurt your wrist, and then eventually it could develop into something really serious. So watch out. Well, we're starting episode 14, man, and it's so exciting. I'm sorry I was away for a week, but I had to take care of my beautiful hand. So, episode 14, I was going through my news feeds, and it's not just on the social media that I've seen this topic I'm going to talk about. It's been everywhere. Ellen DeGeneres, you've heard of her? Yes, I think everybody knows of this lady. Ellen DeGeneres show. I was a big fan of her. Lately, I haven't watched it too much, but I've been a big fan of her, whether in social media, YouTube, or her actual show on TV. So, what happened to her? I've been seeing articles that apparently her staff, they're mean. They're ridiculous mean. Apparently the people that manage the show, the producers and the head producers, are really mean to the interns, and they don't handle teamwork pretty well. Instead, they're just assholes. What? Yes, you would think that kindness it's applied in that environment when Ellen DeGeneres is the biggest kindness influencers in the world, you will say, because she is a big Hollywood representative, and she's all over. I mean, she's pretty international. So now she's all fucked. I mean, no kidding, she is, because I mean, all her team members or ex-team members are coming out on Twitter, on Facebook, and articles are just bombarding her with all these testimonials saying, you know, girl, you ain't no kind, you're just, you know, blah blah blah. And as you look through these articles, if you ever read them or if you have, it's not just her stuff. If you go actually through the comments, because I like to balance my perspective. I read the articles to get a professional perspective of what they have investigated, right? But I also read the comments, and there is people who have attended the show and people who have work around the area or in the studio, and they commented on these articles. And for example, there is one, and I'm quoting this, he worked in a valet parking on a Beverly Hills hotel in the area, and then she will come in and then they will tell him that he can look at her and he can't talk to her and he can't approach to her at all. How insane is that? And then in the comments, there's another guy who said he used to work for her as a security guy, and she wouldn't even say hi to him as soon as she walked to the room. How rude. I mean, I understand that you are a celebrity and everything that you might want to, label yourself for. I'm not a celebrity, or I don't have friends who are, but I understand you want your privacy. However, if you are a celebrity, you might need to handle this popularity well. And on the other hand, and there is no reason for you as a celebrity to be rude. I mean, manners and education comes first, no matter what you are, no matter who you are. And if you're walking in a room, you must say hi, and no matter if he's a security guy or your producer or the makeup artist, no matter who they are, I mean, you must say hi. It's a way to introduce yourself. You're coming in, you're arriving. I've been educated that way, and that's the way that I've been raised. So just because you are, or you believe you're higher than anyone else because you're a celebrity, then honey, you are wrong. Yeah. And there's plenty of this comments in these articles are related to Ellen DeGeneres show. You will see in the comments people they have attended the show, people who have or have family working in the for her. For example, there's one lady who said that I think it was her sister or her cousin, or she had someone working as an intern in the show, and she said that the producers were mean to her. They were not nice to her. She was working as an intern. But I mean, most of these accusations are for the producers and for the people who manage the show. And to be honest, it was to me like what? To me, it was a big surprise because I like her and I like the show. However, I don't know her, so you never know, and I can never judge someone who I don't know. So I mean, if I see this from her on her show, I will say, oh my god, she's the nicest person, but I don't know her. And now I see this from people who have actually attended the show and work there, and I'm like, wow, hypocrisy, And there is a lot of people, but I don't know these people either, so I'm always on the fence, and I always like to give a second chance. But most of these accusations, like I said, are to the producers. Some of these producers and managers of the show have serious accusations, really serious, but somehow Ellen, the host, have to do with it, because if I'm the manager or the boss of whatever team I'm handling, I influence to it. And whether I didn't do it directly, I'm the boss, I'm the lead, and I would like to know what's going on in my team. It doesn't mean because I'm hosting the show I have nothing to do with the other, with the back of the floor. It's like a restaurant. It doesn't mean because I'm the hostess I don't know what's going on in my kitchen. Make sense? Well, but speaking of this topic, I wanted to, emphasize this episode on, teamwork and our experiences, at least my experience with, my previous bosses, because, who haven't had that, job where you had the boss or, the manager where, it's giving you that precious time, it's killing you softly, or maybe you had that teamwork environment or that relationship with your team, and you have friends, but you also have those where they're also killing you softly but it's a different relationship than what you have with your boss, because with your boss you kind of have to maintain a strict professional relationship. Whether with your team, you can come up and say, yo, you don't do that, or I call you out, although you can come up as a very, very strict asshole. Anyway, so yes, I believe there's different types of bosses. At least to me, throughout my experience, I have different types of managers and different types of relationship with bosses and with managers or supervisors, whatever you want to call it. Whatever it is, they're all above me, or they were all above. Ooh, that didn't come out right. They were all above on a position, professional level. They were all my superiors. There we go. And what I want to say is that, at some point, I believe that there's different types. We have the friendly, cool boss, and they're always there for you. I have those. I've been lucky to have two of those in the same job, because I was in a job where I had actually four supervisors at the same time, and it was crazy because they all had different leadership style. And I was good enough, I was lucky enough to have supervisors were cool and friendly, and they were always there for you, and they were what's up, what's going on. They will ask you about your day, and they were very, very reliable. They were always asking about not only what's going to happen in your day at work, but also what's going on with your life. There's those type of bosses that you will always get along with, and even ask them to come out to your party. Yeah, those exist, and you're blessed to have them. But then there's the grumpy ones, the grumpy that are literally consuming you, making you miserable, the ones that you just don't want to go to work for, but you have to because they pay you for. Those exist a lot, my amigos. They do, and most of the time they are everywhere. I have those grumpy bosses, and I remember when I was on my freshman of college, I used to work at this gift shop, and this guy was the most grumpy, controlling. Yeah, I don't want to say. I'm gonna put a beep on there because he was not only rude but also very, egocentric. He will, be because it was an independent store back in Florida, and the guy would be oh, I own the stores, and I do whatever I want, and you don't tell me what to do because I'm the shit. You're wrong, buddy. He will make me feel horrible, to the point that he will embarrass me in front of people. Every time I will do something wrong during my training, or at least through the first months that I was working there, he will say, oh, she's new. Like, I was working there for 6 months already, and he will excuse my service, or at least what he would call lack of service, by saying, she's new, she doesn't know what she's doing. And he will say out loud, and then even the customers will look at me like, oh, it's fine, you're doing a great job, like, don't worry. And he will say it with a tone of voice that I wanted to, like, literally, it's just, dude, you're like the rudest person ever. Some people can call you, and like, you can call me to a side and have a conversation, tell me my goodies and my buddies, and then my goods and my butts, and then I work on it. You don't have to brag everything about what I'm doing wrong, or expose it in front of the whole line, and that will be embarrassing for me and for you too, because you're just reflecting your poor leadership. I'm sorry, I'm letting it out. I'm not gonna tell who it is or what company it was, because I'm a professional. But it's that type of boss that you can have, the grumpy ones, and I categorize that one on that section. But then we have, the one that never smiles. But in that one, I call it the one that never smiles. You can never tell if that boss is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be your friend, or if he is gonna be strict. Like, you can never read that guy, right? Like, he's walking by and you're like, hi, good morning, and then he's walking by the next minute, not even the next day, and then he's like super serious, and you're even afraid to ask him if you can have the day off, or if you can leave early. So it's like really hard to read them, because the next day he's laughing at your jokes. And it's like, oh my God, did I say something wrong? Because next morning he's going to tell you that, you have to write up. Yeah, I have that one. Like, I have that type of boss like 2 times in the same company. Yeah, I have those, I believe those are like the perfect type. Because the friendly ones, sometimes I confuse that relationship with the friendly bosses. The friendly type of boss, I believe it's like, I'm too friendly and too hyper that I can confuse the relationship, and then I don't take that leadership too serious. But at the end, I do. But please hire me. but anyway, like, the one that I consider that are like the ones that never smile, those type of bosses that you can never read, those are really, really hard to read. You can never tell if they are, they're ever going to be your friend. I mean, the purpose of working with someone like that, with that leadership style, I believe it's not, you don't want your boss to be your friend. You don't get hired for that. But at some point, you want to establish a cool relationship, don't you? I mean, if you're working at a company for a long time, or at least you're setting yourself that this company is gonna be my permanent job. I'm gonna work here for a long time. At least you want to establish a good relationship with your boss, with your coworkers, and so on. But those type of bosses at the beginning, it's a struggle, because you can never tell if he is going to like you. You can never tell if he is going to write you up, or you can even ask for a day off. And if you do, you might want to like write your letter and drop it on his desk and never ever approach. Don't you feel like you're walking in circles, like, oh, should I talk to him? Oh, like, you don't want to even approach on his break time. Do not do that, because he won't ever give you the day off. Yeah, don't do that. I mean, I've been a sales trainer for like 5 years, and I kind of like had a closer relationship with my supervisors than the ones that just came in. And it was like, I knew when to bother my supervisor before the new employees bothered them. So I was like, we're gonna talk. If you have any questions about, the training and orientation, just talk to me straight, and then we will talk to the supervisor. Don't worry. I mean, I was a good person. I believe so. Whoa, but I mean, it's not just about the relationship with your boss, because this type of relationship kind of goes with your team. And that's what happened with the Ellen DeGeneres show. I believe not only the producers were mean to the interns, it was within the whole team that, they were not kind to each other. What the... Ellen, I mean, if I'm the boss of my company, if I'm the CEO or whatever is my title that puts me ahead of everyone or above of any title, I mean, I would like to know what's going on. That way I can apply my, or influence my kindness or whatever my logo or my motto is, and know that everybody's doing the same thing. But apparently, her team wasn't working like that. And that works with any other team. To be honest, I've worked in a team environment, luckily, where everybody was cool enough. Not that long ago, I was working at this resort, and I missed them so much. To be honest, it was the coolest job ever. I worked at this resort full of photographers, videographers, and creative minds, and they were all in this same page where they all just wanted to, be out there in the water, because we were all photographers, videographers, or somewhere into the artistic branch, and we just wanted to create and take pictures. And at some point, even though it was a resort, we were in the department of photography, and we were just there interacting, talking, interchanging ideas, and that was so cool. I mean, when I started in that job, I was only into film photography. That was my main interest within photography. But then as I started working there, I discovered so many things, and I was taught so many things that I was like, whoa, it's so cool to interact with people who knows more than what I do, and who teaches you different things, and you learn from each other. I mean, I was lucky enough, because I've heard stories and I've seen things in my place of work, the last one and the other ones, where you can find an unfriendly teamwork, and you can find the grumpy ones as well. You can find the ones that you can never read, like, as well, not only on your leadership team but also within your team. Luckily, I was able to find my best friend in that job. My best friend Mandy, I met her at that job, and I was like, because we both have so many things in common. We're like that boho type hippie girls that love traveling and photography, and we're both artistic souls, and so we have so many things in common that at this point we're just might as well be best friends. Right? But not everything was just like happiness. I mean, we ran into customers that were like destroying, making us miserable, because it's the hospitality industry, and to be honest, the hospitality industry is for people who are only patient. And if you're not patient, buddy, you're wasting your time, because this industry is for people who are patient, who meditate 2 or 3 times daily, and people who love customer service. I mean, I don't love customer service. I love the marketing side of hospitality. But if you are patient like I am, then you're in the right industry. Other than that, don't get into it, because it's really, really frustrating, especially when you start, because you got to start from the bottom. Whether you start a resort, whether you start a hotel, whatever it is, it always has to do with customer service, and then you're like, I don't want this. I don't want to attend. I don't want to solve your issues. I'm going to do a podcast about hospitality. Yeah, because the industry is struggling a lot. It's probably the most affected industry this year. Yep. Anyway, yeah, teamwork in the hospitality industry, it's something that not only in the hospitality industry, anywhere. Now that I mentioned that I worked with my best friend before, you know who you are, Mandy. Don't you be shy. I mean, now that I mentioned that, it must be difficult, and I'm sure it is difficult to work with family. I mean, I've worked with my sister once, and I'm telling you, I had a blast. And she was my boss. Yeah, my little sister, my boss. Boy, that is, it's funny. As funny as it sounds, it's amazing because, even though she's my little sister, she's still my bigger sister somehow. Anyway, I mean, I worked with my sister once and it was amazing. I love her. She is, so grown up. So to have that type of relationship, that professional relationship, at least to me, it was easy because I respect her job and everything that she does for everyone else. So it was kind of cool to bring that relationship to her workplace. I mean, I worked with her for like a year or something, but it was like a part-time job, so it was really cool to see her doing all the serious, strict relationship with her employees. But I mean, I know that others that have worked with their fathers, with their mothers, or have this family business end up in a very, very crazy love-hate relationship, at least on the floor. It's difficult. I've never had to experience that, not with my mom, or because we don't have any businesses, but I know that it can get really, really crazy. So for the ones who do, I mean, let me know, because eventually, if I ever open something, I would like to know. I know it's a lot of stress, but working with family must be crazy. Now, working with a boyfriend, Jesus, that will be way much awkward. Once I worked with not a boyfriend, but someone whom I had a close relationship. Baby, please don't listen. But we had a close relationship, and this was long time ago, amor, just so you know, long time ago. And I met him at work. God, I'm getting nervous. So it was at work. We met at work, and then it happened all during work. Well, we met. Let me restart here. We met at work, and it was just we would be working, and it will be so uncomfortable, man. I'm trying to help the customer, but I don't want to do eye contact with you because I don't want anything to do with you anymore. So at one point we'll be hey, handle me the package, or ring this up for me, or something like that. Or sometimes I have to train you, and it'll be so awkward and uncomfortable because no matter if I want to, I have to talk to the person. I would have to talk to this guy no matter what. But then I literally didn't physically want to, because I just didn't want to deal with him. But then I have to be kind and be nice and pretend that I'm enjoying this training when I'm inside being I can't stand the guy anymore. It was so uncomfortable. It was awkward. It felt awkward. The energy on the floor was oh boy, what am I gonna do? And then you have to go with makeup every day to work, at least at the beginning of, the thing that's going on. And then, you have to wear makeup every day to, pretend that you actually care when you don't want to care. But when I was younger, I was fuck it. But it's so uncomfortable and it's so awkward, man. So don't work with your boyfriend. Or at least with someone that you like, unless you want to impress. I don't know. There's so many occasions, so try to avoid that. At least with your boyfriend, if I ever work with Mark, that'll be a really interesting situation. Just, work with your best friend. Yeah, at least with Mandy, when I work with her, she made my life so much easier. I mean, my sister's my best friend too. So, when I work with them, it was fun. It was cool. She will come and console me every time a customer was rude to me and they yell at me. She's like, it's okay. They won't yell at you anymore. I'm here. I'm now here. but it was fun. And we will make fun of these assholes that came and, were like complaining or something like that. But it was cool to have someone that knows me and I can relate to. Other than that, that's it. But I can tell you that you don't only find this different type of bosses on your leadership team. You can always find it within your teamwork. I've worked in different places. Whether it was a resort, customer service, or at a mall, whatever I was working, you always, let's be realistic, you always run into that coworker who knows everything, and he or she, wants to show off, and and they think that, they're gonna be the next supervisor. Don't you laugh at them? Don't you? It's like, oh, I love you so much. I'm going to promote you because you want it so bad. Yeah, you can feel my sarcasm, don't you? It's beautiful. I'm so positive. But yes, you always have those, always. And isn't it amazing? Because they make your day beautiful, because they make your day the most long and stressful, and for not saying miserable. Yep. But you can run into those everywhere. I remember when I was younger, and this is when I was 18, I used to work at a mall for a long time, and I got to become the assistant manager when I was 19, 20. What? Yeah. That was one of my first and most important position at a young age. And I had like those nasty looks for being young and for getting that position. But you have those that appreciate your position and appreciate your promotion, don't you? You have those that support you and always are with you and are like, yeah, you go, Ella, you can do this, I'm with you. But then you have the ones that give you the nasty look and they're like, she ain't gonna make it, she is gonna fail, or something like that, don't you? Let's be realistic. This is what there's always a different type of coworker. You always run into someone who is going to be on the negative side and someone on the positive side. Not everyone is perfect and not everyone is going to like you, right? And that's the teamwork environment that you run into everywhere. At least I've always had that one who never appreciated or never was happy for me, or the ones that always supporting me and were like, you go, Ella, you can do this, we know you're the best for this position. Or the ones were like, girl, you suck. Yeah. But maybe they were right or maybe they were wrong, who knows? But I wouldn't even know until I tried. But I can tell you for sure that no matter who it was or what it was, I will always support it until she would or he would realize it on its own, right? But you always run into those, and you always gonna find those type of coworkers everywhere. And then you find the quiet one, you find the quiet partial coworkers, the one who never wanted to be your friends, the ones that are like on a corner, they just coming clocking to do their job and clock out, and that's it. Yeah, I've run into those. But that's, I feel like I've run into those a lot when I was younger because, they just there for money. They just want to get their paycheck and that's it. As I got older, for example, on my last job, I was at a resort and it was related to photography at a department that it seemed like people loved what they were doing and wanted to be there, right? So they wanted to stay, like for example, my coworkers, they were actually asked to stay there longer. They were actually be there because they love photography. So it was an environment that they wanted to be in. So that was cool. It was cool to know that, I'm surrounded by people who love what they're doing. So that was actually a cool job. I really loved being there. But, as I was younger, I ran into people who were like, oh, I don't want to be here. Let's just clock in, clock out. And that's it, here you go, that's it. And I saw a lot of those when I worked at a mall when I was younger. I think I was 19, 20, like I said. Yeah, those are like, that's it. I'm out. Peace out. I'm done. You might check. But there's the ones that, they're very interactive and then they are very outgoing, that love their jobs. I happened to run into those a lot in my last job. For example, Mandy, my best friend, I met her at my last job. God, I love her. And she loves photography, and I met her at the photography department, and she did photography in another jobs. She majored in this career. God, I love you, Mandy. And because of that, I learned so much from her. I learned so much with her in this company, and we get along, and now we're besties. But then there's others, like the ones that love their job, so much that it can get a little annoying, and then so much that they know everything to the point that it's like a freaking dictionary, he knows everything, or she, whoever it is. But you have those type of coworkers where they're like, oh, I know what is that, like, you're not even talking to them and they already answer your question. Like, you're talking to a customer or a client, whoever it is, and then they randomly appear behind you and they're like, yes, that's what we do here. Or, it's like, what? You were here already? Okay, sure. Or they want to handle the customer for you without even asking. I'm like, I appreciate it. That way I don't handle this issue. But if you want to solve my issue, buddy, go ahead. Do it for me. I don't want to deal with this. But some of them love it. Some of them, I've run into coworkers who they're passionate about, the job to the point that they will do my job. And I'm like, it's great that you love it. It's great that you want to do this for me. Sometimes I don't want to deal with such a issue, but I want to do my job too. And let's just separate our tasks. Yeah. I'm good at telling things with great manners, and I'm very polite, so I never get to be rude. However, there's a point where I need to thank God nobody has crossed the limit with me, because I get to be so polite that, I can tell you to get that away from me with a very kind smile. But no, I'm very nice. No matter what, I get to tell you the things how they are professionally. Well, this is the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Isn't it crazy that we get to build awesome relationship at our workplaces? It could be a love-hate relationship with, whoever you have to deal with, if it either is your boss, your coworker, or even your customer, whoever is giving you a hard time. At the end, you get to learn from that, and you get to become more professional. Like I said, at least I got to meet my best friend at my last job, the one that I got to work for 5 years, and I loved that job. It was amazing because I got to interact with a lot of photographers and videographers, and we all had so many things in common. So I love that environment. I love the people who love what I love to do. So it was a good place to be. We all exchange ideas. We all we're in the same place and the same page, so it was really cool. And we all wanted to be professionals, so I will recommend you to get a job where everybody likes the same things that you do, same industry, same field. It's good. I mean, at this point, I still keep my relationship with my old boss. My old boss Kim, I love her, and I still talk to her. We're still friends. Unbelievable. I never thought that I will keep a close relationship with my old boss. And and I try to keep a good circle of the friends that I had back in my old job, and that's because we all have things in common. And I hope that you too. I mean, I know it's hard. It's hard to empathize with everyone, especially from work. But if you're lucky, you get to. Again, this is the end of our 14th episode. I hope that you loved it. This is a good topic. I really enjoy it. Follow us on Instagram. We are as Randomness Podcast on Instagram. You can follow us there, and then you can get some updates of what we're going through each week. Then you can also follow us on Spotify and get updates whenever we release an episode. And if you want us to get more stuff on social media such as Facebook, let us know so we can maybe create a page on Facebook and then get you through there. I wanted to say happy birthday to my dear friend Sheila. She is turning 1 more year of beautiful life, and to my awesome big brother Ricardo, who is turning another beautiful year of life this year, this month. To both of them, happy birthday Sheila, happy birthday Ricardo. I love you both. I hope you guys are having an awesome time, even though we are going through such a crazy year, but still enjoy it next to your loved ones. Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will come out with the 15th episode and soon season 2 of the show. Maybe new content, new topics, and possibly guests. Woohoo! Right? I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, be grateful, practice your manners, and vote. Please vote. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Ciao, ciao.